Hi, my name's Marina Pearson, and I'm a effortless business and lifestyle coach, and I work with stressed out women in business to transform that stress into an effortless business and lifestyle that they love so that they can stress less and be more. And as a byproduct, they end up working less hours and earning more money. So, today I wanted to share a few insights about effortless results, but also about what creates our stress. Um, Now, to give you a little bit of a background, I have been working with women in business who are overwhelmed and stressed out for the last 3.5 years. The reason for that is because I used to be one, and I have a primary focus on working with mums in business because I just love to share the effortless way with them, as I also know the ins and outs of being a mama too. And let's just say that for quite a few years I wasn't really making very much money in my business and I was really stressed out. So I'd been in business for about 5 years, and out of those 5 years I could definitely say that I only really started to make money in, sort of the fifth year. And even then, I was earning 5,000 a year. So it was a bit of a hobby as opposed to it being anything that I could really categorize as being a business. And I really wasn't getting the results that I was looking for, and I was super stressed. So maybe you can relate to this. And I was running around like a headless chicken, and I was working 18-hour days. I wasn't sleeping much, I was drinking a lot, and I hardly ever saw my fiance at the time because I kept on running backwards and forwards from Hertfordshire into London and backwards and forwards and attempting to make my business work. Now, I don't know about you, whether you have felt this way or not, or maybe even feel trapped by the business that you're creating, or maybe you're like, oh my god, I'm constantly juggling everything and I'm really looking for some balance. Well, anyway, that was me. And what's interesting is that even from the outside in, okay, I wasn't generating much money, but I was getting a lot of PR. I launched my book back then, and I called it Goodbye Mr. X, and it did really well. It got a lot of press. I was on Sky TV. I've also been on ITV This Morning in the UK, and I also write for the Huffington Post. So in terms of profile, it really put me in a really fabulous position. But in terms of money, not much. In fact, none at all. And I, for many years, have been looking outside of myself to get results. I've been looking at the gurus. I'd been spending lots of money on finding formulas. I spent probably about £100,000 or more on finding the best people I could work with, and yet still, I couldn't make my business work. I spent all that money on such great strategies and everything else, and none of it was working. And it wasn't until I came across this understanding that I now share with my clients, I call it the effortless way, that everything started to change. I went from throwing 70k into the business, and by 70k I mean really my hobby, because actually it was really spent on personal development, it was spent on making my business work, to generating that much actually in the last 3 and a bit years. So last year we've come up to about 75k, and it may not seem like a big deal, but for someone that was earning only 5 2 years previously, that was a phenomenal leap. So my results kind of became exponential. And I've gone from working the 18-hour days to working 3 days a week. And one day is actually for me to just chill. And the other day is for me to be with my son. So things have massively shifted and massively changed. But what changed? And what has allowed me to create those results over such a short period of time? Well, it would seem to me that the big thing that I have found was that I became less insecure. I started to have a lot more of a quiet mind. And what I've found is the more quiet I've become, the easier it has been for me to generate the results that I get. Why? Because when we have contaminated thought, by that I mean stressy thought, anxiety thought, overwhelm, when we're in moods regularly like this, it's really difficult for us to function and get the results we're looking for. Let me give you an example. So, I was at the train station in Madrid, and we'd just come back. Me and my husband had just come back from the holiday, and I was looking at my phone, and let's just say I'm not very good with time, and he's always very prompt and always has to be places early for good reason. But I'm less like that. So I suddenly hear him going, yeah, I've got to go. And I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you there. And then suddenly I look at my phone and I'm like, oh my goodness, I better go. So I run to the platform, or I run to where we need to give our tickets in, and I can't find my ticket. I'm like, where's my ticket? Where's my ticket? Oh God, where's my ticket? Oh my God. And I started to really panic. And I texted my husband because he'd already gone to the platform. I'm like, where's my ticket? He's like, I sent it to you by email. I'm like, I don't have it. And please, and then I phoned him and I'm like, please come back. So he came back from the platform and he's like, well, where's your ticket? And I said, I don't have it. And he's like, I sent it to you. I said, well, can you send it to me again? He's like, no, I've sent it to you. So you should actually have it somewhere. Anyway, in the end, he had to go back to the train and go to Valencia on his own. I ended up having to go to the ticket office. And you know what was really funny is the minute I started to calm down, I looked at my emails again and there was the ticket right in front of me. And it taught me something really, really key, which was this, that when we're functioning from that place of stress and anxiety and overwhelm, it's really difficult for us to see what's right in front of us. And that can be anything from an opportunity, it can be anything from, getting a deal. And, it was quite amazing because I really got clear on the fact that when we are in that space, it's so difficult to function from a place of effortlessness first, and secondly, get any results from that place. And we might get them, but it's not going to be as powerful as if we are clear-headed, calm, collected, in a place of grounded, really. So that was a massive lesson for me, and I realized time and time again that opportunities are always around us. It's just the state of mind we're in that can stop us from seeing it. So that leads me on to the next thing, which is, you may be asking yourself, well, how do I change my state of mind if I'm really stressed, if I'm upset and that sort of thing, and how can I stop being there more of the time? That's what's going to help me get results. Now, results, and effortless results, is really about you minus contaminated thought plus action equals results, effortless results, because the contamination is what stops us from getting things effortlessly. It feels like a struggle, it feels like you're pushing hard because you're in that place of not seeing things, and it's just really difficult to function from that place. We're really built for reality. Now, we know we're not in reality, and we know that we are not seeing things clearly when you're not aligned to it. And you know you're not aligned to it because you feel stressed and overwhelmed. So it's you, a gap, and then reality. Now, if you're aligned to reality and how life works, you are less, it's closing the gap that allows us to actually spend more time in that place of peace. And when I've said that aligned to reality and how life works, what I'm really talking about is this. If you think that your feelings of well-being and security lie in how much money you're going to make, in your clients, in your business being successful, in anything external to you, then what will happen is if you don't have it the way you want it, you'll be more stressed and overwhelmed. When you think that your feelings of stress and overwhelm are coming from your to-do list, the amount of things you have to get done, your deadlines, the juggling, any of those things, or even your parents or your children or your husband, what happens is now you become at the mercy of those and you become a victim to them. And you get more and more frustrated because you want things to change. But what if you could see that actually your feelings that you're in, the state of mind you're in, the mood you're in, isn't letting you know about anything external to you, but only letting you know about thought in this moment. In other words, it's only letting you know about the mood that you're in. And the mood that you're in bears no reflection on your outside circumstances. Now, I know this may be really difficult to hear right now, and you may be wanting to figure it out, but I ask you and invite you to just listen to what I'm saying, and not necessarily just the words, but actually where I'm coming from with the words. Because our little ego mind will want to understand it. But I have often found that not needing to understand what I'm saying to you can actually be more useful and give you more insight. So, knowing that your feelings don't come from your outside is actually so freeing and liberating that it can really help you to deepen your understanding of how life works. And life works one way, from the inside out. Life can only ever work one way, from the inside out. And what that means is that your experience of life, how you relate to life, how you relate to people, how you relate to your business, how you relate to anything that's creating some stress for you, can only ever come from you. It can't come from anything other than you, because if that were the case, then everybody would respond in the same way as you do. And guaranteed 100% of the time that they won't. Guaranteed that they will respond differently to you, because they are in their own separate realities and respond differently to everything, because their feelings don't come from the external, they come from the internal. So that was kind of where I wanted to go with that. And the second thing is you have the capacity for an insight. Aha moments, realizations, good ideas. This is what can create massive quantum leaps in your business. Why? And actually, it can also really help with the stress. Because insight is like the stain remover for contaminated thought. And as I've already said, when you have less on your mind, you get better results because you can see things more clearly. And insight can really help you with that. Now, if you're wondering like, okay, I need an insight right now, insight will show up when it's good and ready. But I guarantee you this, that insecurity is an insight waiting to happen. Now, when you calm down and your mind is clear and you take action, boom, result. Now, it may not necessarily be the result you're looking for, but you're more likely to get an effortless result than you are if you're attempting to take action when you're feeling frustrated or angry. But that's not to say you can't take action. All I'm saying is that if you want it to be effortless, then taking action when you've got clarity, well, that's a big one. Now, if you're wondering how do I get clarity? Well, if you keep looking in the direction of what creates your experience, such as that thought in this moment can only ever give you a feeling and nothing else, this can really help you calm your mind. And the other thing I wanted to quickly add was this, that if you were to know that you have a self-correcting system that does this for you, would there be much more of an acceptance of those moments when you are caught up? So I have a 2-year-old and he often has tantrums, and one minute to the next he's in the tantrum and the next minute he's really good. And what I've noticed is that his tantrums are just an indication of where his contaminated thought is. He might think that the feelings are coming from me taking away his blanket, or he might think that his feelings are coming from wanting to eat something out of a glass bottle, whatever it might be. And yeah, but they're not. And from one minute to the next, he'll shift and change. And I see the self-correcting system. We have a self-correcting system that allows us to go from non-clarity into clarity, from stress into peace. Our head will always clear just as the storms pass and the sun comes out. That's how our internal weather system works. So I hope this has been useful. And the other thing I wanted to mention is if you want to, if you got curious about what the hell I'm talking about, head over to my website at marinapearson.com, and there you'll find a gift from me to you, which is an ebook that I created called The 5 Ingredients to Effortless Living. And it will give you much more of an in-depth view of this effortless way. So I hope you enjoyed today, and I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. Oh, and yeah, if you want to come and connect on Facebook, check out the Kick-Ass Effortless Women in Business. Mwah.